Hi, I'm Cheryl, and today this is the card that we'll be making, and it can be done several different ways. You can stamp your greeting and your flower with just plain ink. You can use embossing powder, and of course it's very generic. You can use it for a lot of different occasions. This is another one of the cards. I have no interior sentiment. I just have my little piece attached with repositionable tape so that later on I can take this out. I can stamp my sentiment that I want to use on here and send it off to whoever is going to get this. A friend of mine, I'm assuming. So the card that we're going to do today, I'm going to use a new product from Stampin' Up, and I haven't even unpackaged it yet, but it's a Shimmer Black embossing powder, and I think that would be so pretty on this card. And like I said, I did this half and half. I stamped the flower on this one and embossed the greeting. So this is what we're going to need today. For the greeting, I used a stamp from A Big Thank You, and it's this one right here, Friends Are the Flowers in the Garden of Life. The Magnolia came from Good Morning Magnolia. This is a gorgeous big stamp. It's beautiful. Just gorgeous. Just gorgeous. It's so elegant, and that's why I wanted to keep the card very simple and elegant looking. The card base is going to be Blushing Bride, and this is a 5.5 by 4.25 inch card, so we need it to be 4.25 by 10 inches, and then scored and folded at 5. Then I have two of these combos. I have Very Vanilla, and I have Mossy Meadow. Let me get a ruler and I'll measure those. I want to make sure I give you the right measurements. And okay, so the Very Vanilla is 3.25 by 4.5, and then the Mossy Meadow is just a little bit larger. It's 4 and 5/8, so it's just an 1/8 inch bigger than the Very Vanilla, by 3 3/8. So 2 of each of those is what we're going to need. So I already told you I'm going to be using the Shimmer Black embossing powder. So of course we're going to need our Versamark ink and an Embossing Buddy. Very important. I keep mine together just like this. This is how I store them. So I remember to use that Embossing Buddy. I'm going to be using a stamping positioner. I'm using the Stamparatus, by far my favorite stamping platform. I've tried a lot of different stamp positioners. I have a Tim Holtz. I have a Mini Misty. I have one of those ones that has the little piece of plastic and a thing in the corner. I don't know if I can even, let me put, yes, I can put my hand on it right away, like this. If you've ever tried one of these, if you're in the Pompano Beach area in Florida, you can have this. It works, but it's by far way too fiddly for me. So I like to keep things simple. So I have all of those, and this is the one I use all the time. It's like the Tim Holtz one. It's got the open edges, but it's a little smaller profile. It gives me a bigger area than the Mini Misty. And I got myself 2 extra of these plates, and I just love it. So there you go. There's my ad for the day. No, seriously, I really love my Stamparatus. Okay, so we need our Versamark ink. I did have my black embossing powder out here, but I'm not going to use that. I'm going to use that. Like I said, I just got this today. So we're going to use this, see how that looks on it. You're going to need a couple little sponge daubers. We're going to need, let's see, this is soft sea foam ink and Blushing Bride. Okay, that's my little stamp. And, oh, a little brush. We're going to need a little brush to flick away little bits of embossing powder. We don't need it. And, of course, a heat tool. You'll need that. And we'll be using the Tombow multi-purpose liquid glue. And there was something else I was thinking I needed that I need to pull out. Oh, yes, my repositionable tape. And I know this company makes it, Darice repositionable tape. I use this quite a lot, especially when I'm designing a card. I'm not sure where I want things. I can put it in place with this and see how I like it and look at it for a little while, and then I can take it off. Okay, and we're going to be using that also to hold our front little piece of paper in place. So let's bring in my stamp positioner, my Stamparatus, and I'm going to need my one sheet of the Very Vanilla. I'm going to put that right on the front here with this repositionable tape, just two little bits of it on there. I'm going to center this on my paper. Obviously I can't talk while I'm centering things. So there we go. You know what? I noticed when I scored and folded my paper, can you see it's just a little bit, it sticks out a little bit on the one side, so it's not exactly, there we go. They're not exactly lined up, so I'm going to flip that over. Okay, so there we go. And I'm going to put this down on my platform. I'm just using one of my magnets. That's usually all I need. Oh, and I want to put some scrap paper under here too. We're going to have our Magnolia down in this corner right here. So I'm going to do that first. And let's see, I wanted that to come in. Oh, let's see. How much of the leaves do I want on there? Maybe like that much. Maybe a little more. Yeah, I think a little more. Let's bring that in a little bit more. I'm going to move my magnet a bit. There we go. And I don't want nothing to be in this corner, so I have to fiddle around here a little bit. Let's see. Okay, that looks pretty good. I can just put my plate back on, pick that up, and I'm going to use my Versamark ink if I can find it again. Oh, we do need to use the Embossing Buddy though. Oh dear. See, even though I keep it in my ink, I almost forgot. This is always something that I don't remember to do. I'm going to lift that up. I'm going to put that on there underneath too. There we go. Now we can stamp it with our Versamark. So I'll ink that stamp up real good. And press that down. Make a good impression on there. And we're working with multi-levels, so it really needs to be pressed down. Okay. I can see I've got quite a bit. I'm going to take my magnet out. I think I'm going to do it one more time just to make sure that I have that really, really good and inked. And this is why we're having the stamping platform comes in especially handy, because now I know I'm stamping right on there, just exactly the same way. Okay, there we go. Now I know that's really good on there. So I have to open this up. Use some muscle. There we go. I got it out. I'm going to grab this piece of paper. Take these apart. Ooh, this is pretty sparkly. I don't know. It might be a little over the top. We'll see. Get that on there. Shake that off. I can see a couple little spots there I'll need to flick off with my brush. Oh, and the same on here. I see a couple little spots. So I'm just going to put this aside for the moment. And put that all back in my little jar in just a bit. And there's my brush. And just got to get all those little bits off of there. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to continue. I'm going to clean this up. Then I'm going to go and I'm going to heat it up with my heat gun. A little tip with the heat gun, it's always best to get your heat gun going and then just let it blow off to the side for a few seconds before you turn it towards your paper. I find that's very helpful to getting it good. And I'm going to stamp my sentiment also. See, I'm doing that separately. So I'll stamp my sentiment or my greeting and heat emboss that also, and then I'll come back and we'll put the card together, because that's all there is to it. It's a very simple card. And as a matter of fact, if you were just stamping it with ink, you could probably be finished with your card by now. So I'll be back. Okay, so the embossing part is all done, and I kind of like this. What do you think? It's sparkly, and you know what? It almost looks more of a brownish color on my vanilla, and I think it's because the cardstock might be showing through a bit in the sparkly areas. I don't know, but I like it. Okay, so we're going to add just a tiny touch of color to our flower, and just on the vanilla cardstock. So I have my Blushing Bride, and pick that up with my sponge dauber, daubing it off here on my mat. And if you follow my videos, you notice something different. I don't have my pink mat down anymore. It finally wore out after about 2.5 years, and not because of me using it, but because my cats jump up on here and they've been making little slits in it. Yeah, cats are fun, aren't they? Okay, so that's enough of the Blushing Bride. We just want the tiniest bit on there. And I'm going to add some of the soft sea foam to the leaves. But this is a clear mat, and then I put a piece of graph paper behind it, so I have something that I could do a quick measurement with if I wanted to. And get our green ready here. Just add just a little blush of green on the leaves. We're keeping this very simple, very elegant. And this will also, it will go through the mail wonderfully. Now we need to put our little mat on the, behind this piece. If you're tempted to skip this step, do not skip this step. You need a little something something here behind it, because if we put this back on, there's going to be a little gap all the way around here. Okay? Because of the height difference in the paper, you couldn't get good contact with the paper in the back. So we need something to hide it, and that's what this mat does, as well as helps to bring this out a little better. So I'm going to use my Tombow. And you see this? This is a cat hair. They have no idea of personal spaces. Cats don't. Everything in our house is a cat toy. Alright, so line that up, and we just have a little a 1/16 of an inch. It's just a 1/16 of an inch all the way around there. Okay, and now I'll put my Tombow on the back here. So this is a great card if you're going somewhere, like a last minute kind of thing, or maybe you just forgot, because it just goes together so quickly. Okay, so there's that. Yeah, I kind of like that sparkle in there. And we just need to put this piece together, and we'll put that on the inside, and the card will be done. I like my new mat that I got here. It's just it's a baker's mat. I found it on Amazon. It came as a set of 2. I think it was around $28 for 2 of them. So it's not very expensive. Not at all. And I need a little repositionable tape on here. But for whatever reason, the clear color makes my table look so much bigger. Who would have thought that a pink mat would make it look so cluttered? But to me it looks bigger. I don't know. Maybe not to you. And there is our inside of our card. And we're finished. Ta-da! So if there are any Stampin' Up! Products you'd like to purchase from what I've done today, that would be wonderful. If you're in the United States, you could use me as your demonstrator. That would be great if you would do that. You can do that either through my Facebook page or my blog. If you have any questions or comments, be sure to leave them down below. There's a whole section down there, and I'll do my best to answer your questions. If you like my videos and you want to see more of them, then you can subscribe to my channel. And if you hit that subscribe button, a little bell will come up. If you hit that little bell, then YouTube will let you know when I post more videos, which is, I think that's a wonderful thing. That's something fairly new, I believe. And if you liked my video and you just want to say, hey, I like this, you can do that down there too. So that's about it. Do I have anything else to tell you about? I don't think so. So y'all take care, stay safe, and happy stamping.